boat and fishing, but I really like catching big fish and all different kinds of fish. You'll probably not believe me, but it's really true. There's this pond, and their name is Doug and Janie that owns it. I mean, if you throw a bare hook out in the water, you'll catch a bluegill. I swear you will. And one time I put a cigarette butt on a hook and caught 12 bluegill. And I'm not kidding.
It's the peace and quiet of it is a lot, man. But this lake here, I've caught some real good fish out of it. I don't all the time. Last year I caught 35 big bluegill out of here.
This is one of the finest lakes in this part of the state for fishing. I've seen a lot of big fish come off this lake by fishermen. Me personally, I would rather be on the boat up on the lake to fish. That's just, you know, it's not a lot of areas to get to fish here. It's just mostly up on the lake.
But then I like fishing just because of the way it makes you feel, being out in nature, being here in this water. I mean, it's beautiful here. And you know, one thing that it makes me think about is the people who've lived on this farm thousands of years ago in real pretty places, and this is a beautiful place here, this farm. So I think about them and what their life must have been like. You know, they got out in this river and fished somehow or another, just like we're doing, and we see what they see and we hear what they heard, and it just kind of makes me think of, you know, the big picture, so to speak. I like that. The Hellgrammites, we were talking about them earlier. Some people call them Grampuses. They're the best.
They're great fishing bait they're really good for smallmouth, largemouth bass. Really any species of fish will hit them. They're great live bait. Easy to catch at the river too.
You can get a kind of a view of the overall health of a stream by looking at the number of bugs or the number of different types of bugs in the stream, and whether those are common or rare species. The more rare species you have in a stream, usually the higher the quality of the water.
It's really a dichotomy, because you have some of these streams in this county that are the purest streams anywhere in Kentucky, and then you have some that are some of the dirtiest. I never have. I've fished in these streams in this county since I was a teenager, and I've never eaten the fish out of them. You know, even when I was in my 20s and would wade in the streams, you know, without waders to fish, swim in the streams, basically. I still wouldn't eat the fish out of them. You know, at that time I thought, well, I can shower and everything will be all right. Now I know that if you get in some of this water with a cut, you know, you're risking serious disease because of the pathogens in the water.
So when you combine acid mine drainage with the bacteria that's created by people's raw sewage going into the streams, you have a really bad mixture, and something you don't even want to have contact with your skin in a lot of these places. So you obviously wouldn't want to drink it or have it running into your water treatment facility. We found one that we test pretty regularly has a pH of around 4, which is like close to lemon juice in acidity. Like it's really nasty.
In later years, a lot of septic systems that just didn't work because the ground has a lot of clay in a lot of places in this county. So when it rains, the clay doesn't absorb the rainwater and the sewage. It bubbles to the top of the ground, it runs off into the streams. So of course as development came in, then the streams got worse and worse.
But the sites like this are all over this area, and a lot of Appalachia in general has a lot of this problem. And Kentucky is a little behind, well, they're actually far behind a lot of other states in starting to solve this problem, which is, it's a little discouraging, but it gives us a lot to do, that's for sure. But there's not as much of the treatment systems going in Kentucky to start fixing these places. But eventually we're hoping to change that.
Every time you alter the landscape and you do away with a wetland, you do away with a filtering property of that system. Wetlands are like a giant coffee filter for this water. When it goes through them, it can go in dirty on one end and come out clean on the other, but we don't have those wetlands anymore to do that. Here we're in the headwaters. We've got very little flow here, very little water that's actually coming down. So any pollution that goes in is going to really spike the levels. But the other thing is, because we are at the headwaters, we can't blame our pollution problems on anybody else. You know, we did this. You know, the people who live here are the ones who destroyed this stream. It wasn't somebody upstream in another county. All the garbage, all the sewage, all the mine waste, everything that's in this stream came from us.
We travel the lake and work the coves, and once we do get a boatload, we will bring it down here and dump it in behind me on the other side of the buoy line. As it accumulates, the Corps of Engineers, they will come in and dip out of the water and put it on the ground and sort through the drift and the garbage and pick it up and clean it up.
pallet on your floor. Make me down, a pallet on your floor. Make it soft, make it full, make it right behind your door. We're gonna make it so, you good man.